like 5 different pop-ups that are like, "Oh, are we going live? Is this working? Did you wanna leave the studio?" And I'm like, "No,
That's
brother."
interesting. When I used to be the one who would make us go live, that never happened to me.
Yeah, and I don't know, like, if I'm clicking something wrong, if there's something incorrect here, but hey, for those of you who are new, as we get us going here, we are Good Rep Media. My name is Cody. I'm joined by Jordan. We both work for Good Rep Media, which is a small business marketing agency. We help small businesses find more customers online, build their reputation, as well as help them with websites and all of that other extra fun, good stuff. Online reputation is huge. You're probably doing it. You're probably not doing it correctly or as well as you should be. So if you own a small business, if you're a small business leader, if you want to own a small business, if you know someone who does, and you think they might need a little bit of help, feel free to recommend us. We offer free 30-minute consultations. I'm getting all like the salesy stuff out of the way. Goodrepmedia.chat, goodrep.media/chat. Come check us out. But let's get into it today. We're going to be talking about boosting productivity. We're going to be jumping in with a how do you come into 2026 and be productive? How do you make plans? What are your goals for this new year? That type of dealio, as well as some time management techniques. So with that said, I got a big intro out of the way. How are you feeling today, Jordan?
I'm feeling pretty good. I am feeling pretty good. I've been pretty productive this morning. I think I've kind of, me. I have I come and go, and like last week I don't think was a great week for me, but this week I'm trying to like recover from that. And so this morning I've been hitting the ground pretty well this morning. Um,
Heck yeah.
yeah, it feels like a good one.
I do. So I feel like we talk a little bit about motivation and stuff like that. And I want to kick off like, hey, productivity is really important and being productive is good. It's really difficult to be productive out in Michigan right now, mainly
Hmm.
because we are buried in a foot of snow and it is cold, it is dreary, and it is gray. Oh my dear goodness, man. Have you had to go driving out in this?
I drove a little bit yesterday, like a very very small amount yesterday. And then after this, I'm probably gonna go get some food, but
Ooh, you're gonna risk it?
yeah, I think so. It's either that, like the only food I have in my apartment right now to like not leave to go get food is like a pre-made lasagna that my mom sent me home with at Christmas time in my freezer that I could throw in, but like I'm not feeling that today. So
Damn. See, I think this is maybe a universal male fault because I'm in that same boat. Before I met Cassidy, I was awful at keeping groceries. I did not keep anything except for comfort foods around, and I
yeah,
would be like, "Oh, if I wanted to make something like, oh, I want to make chicken alfredo tonight," I would go and buy the things to make
exactly.
that day up.
And like that's even like amplified for me more because like where I live, I
Mhm.
basically live in a grocery store parking lot, so it's like I walk there. Like every time I go there, I just walk there. Blizzard, rain, sleet, snow, I just walk over there. And so it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, why keep my cupboards filled when I can just go get it whenever, and as
Yeah.
long as it's before midnight.
See, and that's 100% fair. That's where I was at. Since meeting Cassidy, I'll be real. It's been like that's one of the unseen benefits of being in a partnership, at least for me,
Mhm.
because I agree it's not a big deal. Keeping cupboard stocks is never a big thing for me because I am a big snacker. If I have things around, I'll
Exactly.
snack.
That's the big part for me. Like
Yeah,
I'll eat it
that
I'll eat it till it's gone, like
See, and that's one of the skills to get better at. But uh I've been doing like Meyer pickup, doing grocery pickup and stuff like
mhm.
that, and keeping stocked shelves just for like dinner's sake. And it really does help with the one decision paralysis because I get a lot of decision paralysis when it comes to food because I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I have so many options. I can go anywhere, but I've also had Taco Bell 500 times. So like I don't really want Taco Bell. I don't want all of the same issues. And so I do really approach it with the idea of like, hey, let's get some new things. I've got a bunch of options. I like going to the store and I'll make a list for myself of like, hey, I've got spaghetti stuff, I've got sausage alfredo, I've got pizza stuff, I've got,
Mhm.
chicken casserole, whatever I've got the stuff to make. I'll make a list of it and put it on my fridge so I have my own like menu to choose from. And when I pick something, I'll cross it off. It's a really nice middle ground for me, mainly because I don't want to end up in your situation where you're like at home right now and you're like, I don't got anything to eat. That
But
feeling
like I
sucks.
can also walk right look it.
Yes,
I
yes.
see Meyer. Like
That's fair. Hey, man, and if you can see Meyer, you can see Meyer. So one of the things I grew up with food scarcity. Is that something that you've ever experienced?
not really. I mean, like we always had stuff, but like I was also someone who like the things we had was never like, I mean, other than like the snacks, the cookies and stuff, like it was never stuff like I wouldn't make my own food a lot of times as a kid, at
Mhm.
home. So like a can of beans or something, like I don't care about that,
Yeah.
but
See, when I was a kid, I grew up with like we'd have some food sometimes, and then we would have empty shelves sometimes. And we were a family of five, so it was a lot different having empty shelves when you're 8 years old as a family of five. And I
mm,
also was in charge of most of my own meals. So, like, from a young age, I was eating almost nothing but like TV dinners and SpaghettiOs out of cans that I could like scrounge up myself. And so, with that like mindset, when I see empty shelves, man, oh, my heart gets beaten. I get a little bit of response to that. When I lived
yeah.
by myself, I think I just dealt with it. It was one of those things where, hey, this isn't a big deal. This is just how I've always lived. But now that I've experienced the other side, I'm like, ooh, I don't think I could ever go back.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So my mom actually just kind of talked about this last time we were all up north for Christmas, and she was talking about how like her grandma's like way of saying I love you was to cook for you,
Mhm.
and so like my mom was someone who like grew up in a home and like brought it to her home of like I'm cooking dinner every day.
Yeah.
Like they're like what's most day. I mean, obviously some days you don't cook dinner, but like almost every single day a new dinner is being cooked for the whole family and everything. So and sometimes even lunch, like, just all different times. And like, so it was hard for me to be like, I'm going to cook my own meal because I knew my mom was already going to be cooking a dinner, so
Well, yeah,
that
and
kind
it's
of like
also when you're
played
a
into
kid, you're
me
not
being an
sitting there
adult
like, let me
now, and I
cook
don't
my
like
own
cooking for
meal. And
myself.
I'll be real. I don't think I learned to cook really. Like I said, I know how to do mashed potatoes. I know how to do meats because we did have a grill. Like we would
Mhm.
grill regularly, and so I did a lot of that.
Yeah.
But actual like recipes, like I don't think I could make a lasagna. Well, I could. That's
See,
worth noting. I've got that optimism in me. I could make a lasagna if I
yeah.
wanted to, but I don't know how
See,
offhand.
I can I can cook, and like when I do cook, I cook pretty well. But I think like kind of that idea of like I want to cook for someone, and like having lived by myself for as long as I have has really kind of like pushed me to a point of like I don't like cooking for myself and nobody else. And so like living alone, I don't really cook as much as I should. Also, my kitchen is so freaking tiny.
Yeah, having the small kitchen is a little bit difficult. But I do see Mel in here. She's highlighting a question. Let's just show this up real quick. I'm excited about today's topic. We're going to be talking productivity. One question I'd love to know your opinion on is how do you adjust your plans when unexpected challenges arise? What are some of your do's and don'ts? And so I want to highlight this because we're going into productivity, and one of the main things that I think we hit on here a lot, and I almost feel like a broken record hitting on it again, set actionable goals. You need to do the thing. And so, a lot of what we're going to be talking about, a lot of what I'm going to be bringing up is hey, when you make a plan and you're talking about planning, I'm going to parallel D&D. You want to get together with your Dungeons and Dragons group and you want to talk about a campaign, you want to plan it out, you're talking about your characters. If you never set a date to play, it's not going to happen. All of your planning is great, but when you don't set that date, you can't actually have something happen. So you need to set that date. You
Yeah.
got something?
Yeah, I think a big part of answering that comes around to like what type of mindset you're in when that unexpected challenge arises.
Mhm.
Ultimately, you always want to be in a positive mindset that when that comes up, it's almost like exciting. Oh, I get to tackle a challenge. Here's an opportunity for me to show what I can do. Some days it might not be as good. A new challenge might show up, and you're like, oh no, like now I have to do that. Um, I think ultimately though, like being able to shift yourself over to being excited for an opportunity to challenge yourself is the best way to overcome it. I do think it's funny, unexpected challenges. Not to harp on our topic that we're going to talk about next week, but your ability to improv and on the spot, be able to. And I'm not saying like go take improv classes, but I'm saying like like your ability to be like, oh, something happened. I need to come up with a solution and to be creative and to be able to figure out how you're going to tackle that challenge is big. So, like, improving your ability to be creative and think on the spot.
Yeah. And so one of the examples, and this is a really good one because we're dealing with this right now. We are figuring out how to do videography content. We know how to shoot video. We know how to edit video. We have a couple of video channels. We are here doing video. But we have one of our clients who's like, "Hey, I would love for you to like come and shoot some content and get some shorts edited together so that I can post them on socials. Is that something that you guys would do?" And we're like, "Hell yeah, we'll figure that out." Um, Now we get together and we got to plan this. We're talking about getting together and shooting. What do we need to do? Let's set a date. Let's figure out how all of this can happen. Get everyone coordinated so that they could all meet on the same date. It's the planning is everything that kind of goes around the actionable step, what you're trying to accomplish. And what we're trying to accomplish is delivered short form videos. What do we need to do that? We need to go shoot at his place. We need someone who can shoot. We need a video editor who can do it, and we got to organize all that. So we pull those three parts together and we solve it. Now, we're going to get there on the day we shoot and say videographer doesn't show up. How do we solve that issue? Pre-planning. You plan for those types of issues. You have a backup plan. You're like, "Hey, I have other options. Maybe they don't work." You have, even if it's not, okay, I've got a backup videographer, maybe it's we've got a backup date. We know that we can do it on a secondary day. We've solidified that with everyone beforehand. We've written into the contract so we don't have to pay the videographer. They've got to pay us for damages, whatever it might be. But the idea is to pre-plan for as many of those contingencies that arise. And then some of them obviously aren't going to happen. If you've worked with a videographer 100 times and they've never been late, you don't need to sit there and plan for the videographer not showing up. So use your common sense and logic. At least that's how I think of it. And that makes sense.
Yeah,
Sometimes I
yeah,
feel like
no,
I'm crazy.
absolutely. I was laughing because you're like, say the videographer doesn't show up, have a backup plan. It's like, okay, I got my
I'm
phone.
sorry.
I got my phone.
I almost feel bad too. I don't mean to like talk about this videographer in a negative way because we found one. We're using one of our friends. I'm excited to be able to bring him in. And I don't want to like shit talk or be negative or anything like this. And I feel like I've been like critical, but it's purely because I want to use it as like a planning thing of like, hey, let's get this thing going. Let's
Yeah.
make sure we're on this. And I have been burned by videographers specifically before. I've got a little trauma with that, man.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, we have a client we want to do well for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. And I need to shoot over a follow-up text here and double check that like they're gonna be good because obviously we're still up in the air with it, and that's not a fun place to be 2 weeks out.
Yeah, and
So,
that's where we
you
want
know,
to we want to get things nailed down as best we can. But I do want to highlight, how do you define an actionable goal? Do you think sometimes people don't clearly define what they're working toward? Jordan.
yeah, I mean, I know I definitely don't a lot of the time. Like I know that because I'll go to you and be like, yeah, so I'm thinking this is something I want to do. And then you're like, oh, tell me about it. And I'm like, I just did. You know? It's real easy to set a simple goal, but not a smart goal, as we've talked about,
Yeah. What
and
can you
so
what's one of the examples that do you have one off the top?
not being put on the spot.
I was
Um,
gonna say
I
challenge you.
mean,
We're on.
I mean, let's just take like something I feel like I didn't do great at last week. I've already addressed that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about like the first time home buyers website that I'm supposed to be building up. I had said to our guy last week, like, hey, yeah, I got that. I know I'm supposed to be working on that. I got you. And then made no progress on it. I didn't like give him like a hey, it'll be done by this time or anything like that.
Yeah.
I was just like, hey, I'll get it done. And then so yesterday I was like, I still haven't gotten that done. This sucks. I'm sucking. So I messaged him and I was like, I will have it done by end of day tomorrow, which is now today. So like if I don't have it done by end of the day today, I'm going to stay up until it is done.
Boom.
Like,
And see, that right there for me is, hey, I set myself a goal. I made a plan. I'm gonna do it this week. And then it just kind of fell to the wayside as it happens, because when something comes up and I'm like, hey, I, I'm imagining a scenario. You're sitting there like, oh, I'm gonna get that done this week. And then I come to you on Tuesday and I'm like, hey, Jordan, I've got these updates for this site.
mhm.
And you're like, okay, bet I'm gonna get that done because you're coming to me now and you're asking for it done by tomorrow. And then I come to you Wednesday and I'm like, hey, can you get these done for today?
Yeah,
And
and
so
like
you,
and I didn't have a deadline. So if you don't set yourself a deadline for it, that becomes the thing that you can keep pushing back, you
yeah.
know? And so yeah, like you're absolutely right, like in like little things, but like those also
Mhm.
then become like distractions. And so like if you don't have that deadline set, then maybe you don't think about it as much because you're not on a time crunch. It's not something that you're stressing about. So then like other things come up, I focus on those, and then I don't
Mhm.
even think about coming back to the task I need to.
Yeah. And it's difficult because if you're in that scenario, like you mentioned, when it came up this morning and you thought about it, I'm sure because I've experienced this many, many times, stomach drop. Like, oh
Mhm.
crap. I needed to get this done. I know that this needs to get done. It's not a huge priority, but also it is something like it's a spoon. You're sitting there and you're hanging on to that spoon.
And like, yeah, like to me, it doesn't feel like a priority, but to the people asking for it, it is.
Yeah.
So it's like if I'm making them wait, then I have this extra weight on my shoulder of like now I'm making someone else look bad, and it's never a fun place to be in.
And so when you're in that scenario, there's two positions to be in where you can be the person who is getting down and doing the work and being assigned things, which is generally where you would be Jordan. It's like, hey, here's a ticket, can you get this done? And the expectation in that is that the person assigning the work is giving you a date or a time or something that they need it by. And personally, like I think I'm getting better at doing those things. It's not something our company does well, and I don't think it's something people do well.
Hmm.
Making impositions on others' time and trying to make actionable steps and be like, "Hey, here's this assignment, do this by tomorrow." It's a difficult thing to say sometimes,
Yeah.
especially for some people. I That's a skill that I've
I
had to
mean,
build up.
every time I go to anybody in our company, I'm like, hey, like it's like the first message I send is almost always, hey, no rush.
Mhm.
Maybe I
And
shouldn't be like that because then
what
sometimes things don't get done. But like,
exactly, there
also,
are you don't
like, who am I to say my thing's more important than the other thing you're working on? So
exactly. It's you don't want to necessarily impose. And that's personally as I've been in the position and I like rise up, I'm in that position to like make shots and say, "Hey, that is not a priority. This is the priority." And so
yeah,
I need to be better about that personally.
yeah,
And so I think that's a skill. Like setting deadlines and making actionable steps is 100% a skill. And that's like I mean, it's like throwing a baseball, man. You got to practice.
yeah. I mean, I do think that it makes sense for there to be like someone who's almost like in just like the time management role, where it's like, okay, this person kind of knows what everybody's doing. I instead go to them, like you, like it's kind of like your middleman position that you kind of act in a lot,
Yep.
where it's like, okay, you get to determine what this person's priority is. I need this, but you also know that that person needs that. So it's
Yeah.
like, which one comes first? Now you tell that person who needs to get it done which one they should do first.
hmm And so this translatable for small business owners. If you're running a business, if you're a small business owner, know someone who's a small business owner. Setting actionable goals is their job. When you go to an employee, when you go to someone and you're like, "Hey, I need you to do better," that doesn't mean anything. It means absolutely nothing. Or worst case, they're gonna say, "Okay, do better in what?" And they're gonna try to interpret that however they want, and they might or might not do it in the way that you want. Get better at being a chiropractor, sure, or being a front desk worker. How do you get better? What do you want them specifically to improve on? Hey, when you answer the phone, I'd like you to have this specific script. When you do this thing, I'd like you to practice doing this. And I challenge you if you're a business owner to come up with actionable, clear goals that people can make actual progress towards. And when they accomplish it, when they do the thing, they can show you and say, "Hey, so I've been using this script all day and I've had really nice responses and it's actually looked like I'm getting more bookings." Whatever whatever it might be. Now, would you say actionable goals are the same as regular goals? No. I think people set goals like I want to get better at basketball. I want to learn marketing. Those are not actionable. Those are things that you work towards slowly. The actionable goals are the small things where like I'm going to take a Google Analytics course and then once you finish that course, you are done. That's at least how I interpret it or think about it.
I I'm curious what we think regular goals mean. Like I think regular goal is just a goal. And then like I think actionable goals are a subcategory of that. Like I don't know that there's anything I would consider to be a regular goal versus an irregular goal. But
Yeah,
then like
well,
but
that's
then
fair.
but then that
Regular versus irregular.
yeah, like I don't know what would be an irregular goal. But that
No,
being
no,
said,
no. I'm here for this.
but
An
that
irregular goal would be I want to build a website that fails and loses money. That'd be an
That's
irregular
still a
goal.
goal.
But it's
Why is it
irregular
irregular? Why?
because it's
Is this
the
not something
opposite of
you
what the
think
norm
people
would be.
want? I mean, maybe
Yeah,
sure.
well, I get what you meant because if that's what they want, if that is their goal,
Exactly.
quote unquote,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's still a goal. It's maybe not doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but it's still a goal, you know?
yeah,
And so then from there you break it down. An actionable goal is still a type of goal. It's just like a subcategory of it where it's like not all goals are actionable, but like all actionable goals are goals,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
so
I,
it's
I think
hard
it's
for me to drive a line between them like that.
my I would use examples. So, for example, we build websites. We can make a goal to, hey, we want to build a website that ranks for massage therapists in city. Great, that's a great goal. That's not an actionable step. How do we do that? How do we get to that goal? We take actionable step, actionable step, actionable step, actionable step, actionable step, and then maybe we get to the goal. We climb the mountain, we climb the stairs. After
Yeah.
all of those
So
steps,
so in that example, like to make that goal into an actionable goal is like I want to build a website that ranks better in my local city, and by doing that, and to do that, I need to increase my SEO to include that city and all of that meta descriptions. Like something like that. It's like my goal is to get those meta descriptions updated on all of my sites
yeah,
to then make it so that my main goal is achievable.
yeah, and it's worth noting. It's so if you're like, hey, I already own a massage therapy website and I want to rank for this city, your actionable goals are probably going to be multiple. It's not
Mm-hmm.
going to be your one actionable goal is to add page title and metadata to everything on your site. You're going to have a second actionable goal, which is I want to get Google Search Console and analytics hooked up and optimized for my site. You're going to have another actionable goal that is I want to create service pages for all of the individual services that I offer. You're going to create another actionable goal for a specific location based page for the city that you want to rank in. And so all of those actionable goals, and this is why I like the idea of actionable step. They're all steps. You're climbing that staircase to reach your actual goal, which is, the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
You want me to highlight this comment down here? I see you
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah.
Quick research says a regular goal states what you want, while an actionable goal defines what you will do. Regular goals are often vague or aspirational, like get healthier or be more productive. Oh, hell yeah. I feel like I nailed that.
Yeah, see, and I think that that's pretty much confirming like what we're saying. Whereas, like, just a regular goal is just the overarching like what is it we want to achieve. Whereas an actionable goal is like the steps that you got to take to achieve that like overarching goal.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I feel like actionable goals, if we do feel the need to break them up and then consider them to be separate entities, the actionable goals are always going to be a little bit smaller because they're bits of the building blocks that make up your regular goal.
Yeah. And it might even be possible that your actionable goal and your goal is coincided. The thing is, it depends on what your overarching goal is. At the end of the day, I think it is worth noting that a lot of people make goals, not a lot of people make actionable goals. And I challenge you, and if you're a regular person out there, I challenge you to go out in your regular day to day life. And when one of your friends, one of your family comes to you and they tell you, hey, I want to start saving for a house. Hey, I want to quit alcohol. Okay. What are you doing to make that happen?
Yeah, you drive
What
me
is your
fucking crazy with that
what?
shit. You
Yeah,
drive
I
me so
know.
crazy with that.
It's a good question.
It is. You're right. And it's just like every time you ask it, I'm like,
Exactly. And it's worth that's the point. The point is the challenge. The point is to make you think and do it because you can say, "Hey, I want to be healthier." Bet I want you to be healthier too, friend. I care about your health. I want you to be around forever. Like that's awesome. So how are you going to do that? What are you going to do
Are
about
you
it?
asking me right now?
No, 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 no. We don't got to get into it now, but it's I've actually so my mom is getting older. I think all of us at this point, if you're in here, if
My
your
mom's
mom's
getting
gotten older,
younger.
yeah, dude, snaps for your mom, respect. But I know personally, I've been dealing a little bit with the like, my mom's getting older. I saw a picture of her and she had like her veins on her hands were kind of standing out a lot more than I remembered. and it was just kind of like a, I don't know why that specifically stood out, but it was like a moment of like, hey, what's going on? And so like I talked to her and I was like, hey, so what are you doing? How are you handling your health? And she's like, oh, I'm starting to go to the doctor more. I want to take care of myself a little bit more. So like I have this scheduled and I'm doing this and I'm doing this. I'm like, that's phenomenal. She's naming actionable steps. And I remember I get my lack of wanting medical care for my mother 100% because she previously would be like, oh, I got a little bit of pain, but I'm gonna go get checked out in a month or two. That was the go-to. And so when you start hearing things like that, it worries me and it makes me think of, hey, let's make those actionable steps because your health is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
We got another question from Mel down there.
in terms of goals and productivity, how do you personally balance long-term goals with short-term tasks? Do you think it's possible to combine both to make steady progress? Hell yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can obviously combine them. Like, I think this is another. I always hate like on the podcast when I feel like I just keep like repeating kind of like the same point. Um, I feel like short term tasks are the building blocks of long term goals. You
Hmm.
know, like you achieve a long term goal by lots of little tasks.
Yeah. So I think there are, if we're doing examples, and I feel like examples are a really good way to do this. You're a kid, you decide, hey, I'm going to make it a goal to be a policeman. How are you going to go about being a policeman? Hey, you make it a goal of being president. How are you going to go about being a president? Like, what are you going to do to accomplish that goal? And obviously, if we're talking about kids and whatever, there's not actionable steps for them to take other than, hey, encourage them if they really want to be a president to join debate club and figure out some of the politics and study history and whatever else it might be, or social engineering and how to incite riots and
And the
anything
hate
like that.
spewing. Yeah. That's all it takes these days. Just hate someone hard enough and you'll be the president.
Oh my god, man, straight up. But anyways,
Hey,
getting
listen,
away
that ain't
from
what
that,
we're about. I was covering my face, like, don't say the thing you're gonna say, and then you said the thing you said, and then I'm like, fuck, I gotta say it.
we got to say the thing. Well, and it's, so if you're setting a goal, like if you're thinking of long-term goal, I keep bringing it back to like, hey, I want to stop looking behind me and start being excited for what's in front of me. That's a really generic goal. There's no actionable steps to that. My actionable steps for that are, hey, I'm going to start making things, planning for things that I'm excited for. I'm going to sign up for a course. I'm going to rent out some places to go camping. I'm going to plan a camping trip with the D&D guys so that we can go play D&D around a fire. I'm not kidding. We're doing that. 100% we're doing that this year. And that's going to
Make
be
it
so
happen,
much
dude.
fun.
Make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. And so my actionable steps are, I want to plan for things in the future and I'm going to do that. My anxiety is still there. My actionable steps for not thinking about all the anxiety don't really have that figured out. I don't have anything like solidified in that realm, but maybe that's something I can do. If I start getting super anxious, maybe come up with some breathing techniques or something for myself, actionable steps to address those scenarios.
Yeah.
But 100%, I think you just need to actionable step how you're going to do it. So, like, do you have actionable steps, small term goals for your health journey this year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it all starts with my diet, which I've kind of cut out like specific rules for how I'm handling it. It's kind of a step back from like how intense it was, a year ago when I was doing it. I'm not gonna go into too many of like the details of like what I'm doing, but I've shifted some things around to make it a little easier to transition into and a little less like every single day to kind of give myself a little more rewards. But then I have like specific like by this point in the year, I kind of want to hit like a certain goal or at least be under like a certain amount. And then once I've hit that spot, then I'm gonna ramp up a little bit more and then begin like my workouts and stuff like that. Then from there, which maybe it's backwards, but like I'm someone who like when I see results, that's when I get motivated.
Hmm.
So it's like take it easy, just diet, lose 10 pounds. Once you're down about 10 pounds, start working out. Once you see you're down 15, start doing the next thing. So I have it listed out kind of how I want to go about it. I need to be better at like cementing it because like
Yeah.
I definitely am still like, oh, maybe I'm gonna tweak this or tweak that a little bit, and then that starts getting really dangerous. We've talked about that before in the
Hmm.
podcast, but like also not every goal is going to be perfect from the moment you set it. Like
No.
a lot of times, like, I mean, maybe if you've done enough research into it or you have experience in what you're setting the goal with. But I've only done things like this one time, and I'm trying to approach it a little differently, so I'm gonna have to make tweaks along the way.
Yeah, and it's worth noting, I like how you described it where it's like it is very much an escalation of, hey, I have my actionable goal of being healthy, or my big goal this year is being healthy. My actionable step for first is I want to lose 10 pounds by following this dieting strategy that I'm going to do. My second goal, once I've lost that 10 pounds, is I am going to go work out. And then this is where I'm like, okay, you're going to go work out. I would challenge you to come up with that routine and write
Oh,
it
yeah,
down.
I know exactly what my workouts will be and everything,
Oh,
yeah.
do you? See,
Yeah.
that's one of my big hangups when I started working out is I didn't know what my routine would be going into, like, the workout room.
So you may not know this from the time you've known me because I was just a fat, short kid, like
Get
from
out of
the
here.
day you met me. But I used to go to the gym like 2 times a day, like in like my freshman year of college. I was taking strength classes in high school. Like, I
Heck
was
yeah.
I was the prototypical athlete. I was on a paintball team. I was running 2 miles a
I was on a
day. I
paintball
was
team.
doing I was doing a lot, and
Yeah.
like so I do I'm missing a muscle. So
Mhm.
like in the weight room, I've always been like a step behind a lot of my friends and stuff. But like I always tried really hard to like keep up with them. And so like I was always there when they were there. And so I've learned a lot about like being in the weight room, good workouts, good muscle groups to focus on, when to do it. So coming up with like a workout routine really isn't hard for me. And then on top of that, like just push cardio. If the main goal is weight loss, just push cardio, you know?
Yeah, and that's honestly more than anything else, I probably do need to do some cardio, but I don't come from a sports background. I did wrestle, but I didn't play sports as a kid. And
Mhm.
I did like strength and conditioning when I was in high school, and I took a couple of like strength classes when I was in college for like the sports cred because you needed that for graduation.
Mhm.
But it was never like a big priority for me. And so I know the basics of working out, but I know for me, if I set the goal of like, oh, I want to go work out, I would get an intense amount of anxiety trying to walk into a Planet Fitness because I wouldn't know what I'm doing. And I have that social anxiety of like, oh, I want to know what I'm going in there to do. And the
Brother,
more that I've done it, the more comfortable I'll be.
brother, Planet Fitness tells you how to do the workouts right on the side of the machine.
Well, that's just an example. Which I mean, more than anything else, I have difficulty personally when I know that something has been figured out, quote unquote. Like I know for me right now, there is a absolutely perfect workout routine, diet routine for me and my body type out there that exists. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to find it. I could probably ask ChatGPT and I could probably
Take a
deduce it and
picture,
figure out a
take
work
a
routine that
selfie,
works for me.
take a
What?
selfie and upload it to ChatGPT and be like, "Hey, this is what I want, make it happen." And then
I
it'll
don't
just
think
edit your photo.
I'll be flat out. I don't think I need to upload a selfie. I think ChatGPT could go find multiple pictures of me online.
That's
That's
true.
the scary thing.
That's true. Oh, that's curious. I almost want to do that. I want to be like, hey, go research Jordan Vogel, come up with as much information about him as you can, and then come up with a plan to improve his health. Or I don't know. Like, it doesn't even have to be like working out. Just like, what can he do to just be a better version of himself?
Oh my
Now we're
god.
getting back into the AI mentor.
We always get back to the AI, but I will say I did a search for myself once upon a time where I was like, "Hey, give me all of the information that you can find on Cody Lee Anderson. Show me what you got." And it gave me
His social security number and
no, it gave a
birthday.
bunch of different Cody Andersons. It listed out my YouTube channel. It found this and was like, Cody works for Good Rep. One of the Cody Andersons works for Good Rep Media. Blah 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 blah. Here's his YouTube channel, and then here's another Cody who plays Magic the Gathering, and here's his YouTube channel. So it found my stuff. I
Yeah,
can hard imagine it can find socials and pictures and stuff like that,
yeah.
which is
That'd be
terrifying.
crazy. Like, yeah, that's interesting. That'd be funny. Yeah, I was gonna say, Emily's down there. Like, I'd love to see how, just to know how much ChatGPT knows about us. I will be searching myself as soon as I am done here today. I'm going to put in a food order, and then I am going to ChatGPT myself.
I'm going to. Have you chat GPT'd yourself?
I have not.
Honestly,
I've Googled myself. What person hasn't, you know? But like,
but have
I
you
also
chat
haven't done
GPT'd
that in a
yourself?
long time. Like, obviously, with all of this, I have a much bigger online presence than I did, when I was Googling myself in high school. So,
Yeah.
like, I am curious to see like what would be different. I have to imagine it's still going to be like LinkedIn, Facebook, and then just like those basic ones, and then maybe like this channel.
Yeah, maybe. I know our when we upload all of our videos have our handles in them for LinkedIn. So at least our LinkedIn is getting a bunch of like backlinks and stuff like that. So I imagine our
Mhm.
LinkedIn's are probably at least getting a little bit of juice, so to
Yeah.
speak. Regardless, excuse me. Getting back into it, we're talking about priorities, we're talking about habits, we're talking about how to basically go into 2026 and actually accomplish your goals. Um I do like the talk of actionable goals versus regular goals because I think a lot of people will set their broad goals. And if you're a small business owner, setting a goal, for example, of like, oh, I want to be profitable. Like that's a good goal to have. I want to get a website up and running. Great. But setting the actionable goals of like how you're going to accomplish that are the meat and potatoes. Like
Mhm.
I'm imagining a fantasy turkey dinner for Friendsgiving, and it's like you got to go through the steps of cooking it, buying a turkey, cooking it, getting all of the stuff prepped, inviting all of your friends. You need to create the Facebook event. You need to make sure that someone's bringing biscuits, someone's bringing pop, someone's bringing, everything. You need to make sure it's all covered. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And I like that analogy. Actually, I'm here for that analogy.
We need to do a turkey contest where every single person at Friendsgiving just brings in a bird, a whole bird.
Just a whole bird. Oh my god. Dude, I'm gonna go cook a bird sometime soon.
just cause, just like now.
Just
I,
cause.
I've told you, like every Thanksgiving, Meyer does like a really good deal where they're like 50% off their birds, and it's like my mom always gets two, and she's like, "This one's for Christmas." Like that means we're a ham family on Christmas, but like in the week of Christmas, she'll whip up a turkey.
I told you about fondue, right? Oil
Yeah.
fondue?
Mhm.
That's good shit. I haven't had oil fondue in a hot second. I've thought about it a couple of times. I'm probably
There's that fondue place over on Knapp's Corner, that like melting pot that like they have like all different like fondues you can go do. That could be
I
fun.
have seen that. Have you been there?
I've not.
I've heard it's kind of expensive.
I bet it is, which is stupid.
Yeah. Considering it's just a bunch of
Here,
stuff that you boil in oil
yeah,
and cheese,
like,
like
you look over, you see like the kids just sticking their finger in the fondue fountain and stuff, and it's like, this is costing me $45.
no man. See, and I can't dude, everything's way
I
too
better have
expensive.
my own fondue fountain. It better not be like here's all of our fondue fountains.
The It's hard for me to wanna do that because I would rather buy myself a $50 fondue pot, get some
Exactly.
oil, and just
Exactly.
just make my own chicken nuggets, man.
Yeah. I remember we used to have like this like little tiny, like all it was like it was like a looked like a Hershey's Kiss that you'd put like Hershey's chocolate in, and it just had a candle that would sit underneath it, and it was for like dipping. It wasn't like a fondue fountain, but you could like dip in it and stuff, and we dip like marshmallows and stuff like that in it. That's
Yeah.
pretty lit.
See, and those are good snacks. I love fondue. I love the oil fondue. I love making chicken nuggets and like deep fried oil steak. Like I'll be real. I don't know that that's good steak for people, but it delicious.
Yeah, you've mentioned like the oil fondue. That like I mean I've done like cheese and chocolate and stuff like that, but
Mm.
I've never done like an oil one, and that does sound interesting.
I'm tempted to get one. If I do one, honestly, we should get the guys together. Again, we should get the guys together to do fondue. Oh, and here we are.
Bunch of
TJ Ma-
fondues.
TJ Maxx has them for $30, and they're very
Dude,
nice.
that
Melanie,
that
are you
deserves a lot more recognition than it got right there.
Oh my gosh. I'm not the
Uh,
only one who does fondue, man.
no, obviously not. TJ Maxx has them for $30.
That's actually pretty hilarious.
I'm gonna check Amazon. I'm gonna see if
Hell
Amazon
yeah.
can beat $30.
While we're checking Amazon over here, I will say we're getting down to the wire here. We're gonna have a little bit of a shorter show. I'm kind of
Are we?
feeling as we finish this up.
I
Oh, are
was
you feeling it?
I wasn't told that. No,
Oh, I'm just getting
I'm
through.
never
We're
feeling it.
getting through most of the checklist.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
have it up.
normally, for those of you who are new here, for those of you who haven't listened to us before, we have an amazing producer who helps with pretty much everything on the pod, Melanie. She has some of the questions that we've been highlighting here. Well, she gives us a doc beforehand that we review with all of our notes going into the pod that we can try to reference. Those of us who are good at the pod try to make sure that we
Whoa!
yeah, take it.
Whoa! I think I'm all right at the pod.
I'm a solid 5.
Listen, could I be better? Yes. And would being better involve reading the things that Mel gives us? Yeah.
Well, to be fair, also maybe not. Sometimes being too well read, I feel like I'm on.
Exactly. I feel like if you can follow us through that and direct us, then that allows me to be a little more natural on the podcast, you know?
Yeah. And it's
So I won't
it's
even
true.
open them.
It is true that the notes really do help us get through so that we can kind of at least hit on the points that are necessary and make sure that we address some of the small business things. The one issue that Jordan and I run into is we are friends outside of this. We play Dungeons and Dragons together. We take improv classes. And so it's really hard to stay on topic sometimes.
For real. For real. It is. I mean, we're also not like, I mean, you know, this was an excuse I could have made like a while ago, but I guess at this point it's not true anymore. Like I was about to go, we're not podcasters, but at this point we are, you know, like we've done it enough that I would consider myself a podcaster, but like it doesn't feel right to say that.
No, it feels really weird, mainly because the audience is generally very small. We help small businesses. We've helped like maybe a couple of people come through, primarily people in Xanadu who enjoy listening to us chat about Xanadu things. I do think realistically we should do a Xanadu like show and kind of talk about like our history at Xanadu for an hour and like go over all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of did that in one of our first couple ones.
Did
Though,
we?
but like we didn't talk on like the company a lot, which maybe we shouldn't. But like,
well, maybe not
we
too
did.
deep.
But like one of our first couple episodes was like our history with the company, how we got to where we are.
Oh hell yeah! Maybe I need to revisit that, but maybe we are podcasters getting to the point where forgetting our episodes.
I mean, but I do think they're like once you go long enough, it is okay to repeat some of those earlier topics, especially here on Good Rep, where we are talking about like the things you need to do, you know, to like better your small business. Those tips are still relevant, and someone shouldn't have to go dig back through 30 different videos just to find us talking about the things all small businesses should do. You know, we had a whole episode on that, but that was like week 2. We should do that again.
Yeah, I would be down to do something like that again. I do want to highlight this because I think it's
because it mentions Dungeons and Dragons.
Get out of here. That too. But speaking of topics, maybe we could do a podcast on how playing Dungeons and Dragons teaches skills that carry over to the workplace, how personal life experiences cross over into work life. So I do think having an episode on maybe generalized professionalism is good.
So I remember I had pitched a little while ago, like an idea of us doing like segments, of kind of like she says there, like how does Dungeons and Dragons apply to small business? Like we'll take various different things in pop culture, be it like a certain video game, a movie, you know, like music, how different things can be applied to marketing, you know, and like I remember pitching, bring on some guests, bring Sam on if he was ever willing to come on for like, you know, like disc golf, like, you know, what does the marketing world look like for disc golf? Just little ways to relate what we are doing to the real world, because we may have people who are watching who aren't doing what we're doing yet but want to, and just need some type of comparison to make to what they are actively already doing.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be real. I like the idea. We talked about the ping pong guy. What was the ping pong guy? That movie?
Oh,
Marty Supreme.
Yeah.
We talked about the Marty Supreme marketing at one point and how we enjoyed it. I do kind of agree. Like, hey, we're gonna hit a bit here. Like, I almost Steam Deck transition, right? That's where I'm at.
Wait,
well, we transition into hey, we're going to talk about here is modern day marketing we're gonna chat about something. I kind of like doing like segments or bits and stuff like that. And I would be able to dive in and do like, hey, have you seen this most recent movie? Let's chat about the marketing for it and everything that we saw. Where did you see the marketing? Where have you followed it? What have you heard about it? Because I do follow a lot of those pop culture references and a lot of the
Yeah.
pop culture marketing things.
And then like it could be a little bit more difficult to kind of do this other approach to it that I'm about to pitch. But then like there could be like things where like if we do talk about things like to reference what I just said, Sam disc golfing, like what are some skills that maybe you like have found that maybe could help improve your ability to market that you've gained from that? And I know it's silly and that's a little more difficult because it's like what could disc golf really translate to marketing, but it's like perseverance, like a knack to improve yourself, things like that. Like it, like they can affect you in ways that still help you, even if it's not like a direct, like, yeah, throwing a frisbee doesn't make me a better marketer, but like learning to do it and taking those steps to improve myself, I have applied to my ability on social media, things like that.
Yeah, and I mean, even I like the idea personally of, hey, I do disc golf. This is my side project. Let's talk about the side project, like why we're doing it, what we're doing it for, the steps that we've taken. Specifically, like Sam is he's our social media guy. He does disc golf on the side for himself, and it's his hobby. So I know he's like gone out. He's got sponsored. He spends time, energy, and effort. He's built up himself in this community, and those types of skills are extremely valuable in social media. I mean, he posts on his own social media. He keeps his stuff
Hmm.
active. And so I would 100% be down for something like that. Similarly, being able to walk through, hey, I made a YouTube channel. This is how I've kind of been going about it. This is what I'm noticing in my like experience here. Not that it's anything huge, but it's like recognizing, hey, I made a YouTube channel. I thought I was going to upload my first couple of videos and get 10 subscribers. It didn't happen. I finally hit like 20 after, uploading for 5 months or something like that. Like
But,
it's slow.
but I do think like the specifically like what Mel pitched right there, how playing Dungeons and Dragons teaches skills that carry over to the workplace. I think that would be a fantastic episode. And I think on top of that, we could bring like Eric in. Like I think that
Yeah.
would be a good opportunity to bring a guest in, get some outside views because like Eric isn't necessarily a marketer. He is straight up development. Is a web, be it a marketing website or a personal website. It doesn't have to be marketing, and he can
Yeah.
kind of give us a whole new perspective on that. So
Yeah.
I do think, Mel, my take, put that in the docket. I think that's an episode we should do, and I think we should get Eric involved in it.
Oh yeah. And I'm always down for collaborations. The one issue that we run into is finding people who are interested in being on the pod. So if you're at all interested in being on as a guest, if you have something that you want to talk about or a topic that you're interested in sharing, 100% hop in. We would love to have you. Even if it's like hey, you want to take over mine or Jordan's spot and just chat with one of us over something, we can make that work too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And also, I think like Joe. I think we need to get Joe back on. It's been a little bit since we've had a good Joey Matterhorn
I
segment.
hoped he was going to join us yesterday. He almost did.
Yeah. Okay, so you've been pushing for that. You've been pushing to get him
I
back
did.
on.
I have mentioned it. He does want to be back, and I will say, as like a
And I know
little
he's
heads up.
go say. I was just
Oh,
gonna say what you're about to say. Go ahead.
as
Say it.
a little heads up to everyone here, we're planning on launching a little bit more live starting on February 2nd. I think the week of February 2nd, we're going to be going live on more channels. We're going to be going live more often and trying to do some more content. And I think Joey's going to be part of that. That's the goal, at least. Fingers crossed. We'll see. We'll see how we actually do it. I think we're going to be able to actually get some stuff going. But
He's a hard one to hammer down, but when we get him, it's always good.
yeah. We can talk about popular current trends too, like new trends based on consumer research and how, as a marketing agency, we approach them or feel about them. I think that's also pretty good. There's some issues with like big bang topics, like not the big bang specifically, but I do know that there's a lot of things going on with local search. There's a lot of things going on with AI and Google using Gemini for AI sponsored results. And so I've been tempted to get in and do some short form content on those. But it's just
Yeah. Yeah,
spending
and
the
I mean,
time,
I know
energy, and
we've I
effort.
know we've pitched a lot of short form ideas that we've never really like got the ball rolling on. I definitely think that we should kind of start trying to put together like more content than is just us sitting in front of a camera,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah,
Um,
and this is where the actionable steps come in, where it's like, hey, okay, let's make a pod, or let's make a video, let's make a script, and like let's actually get it shot. Let's set some deadlines, and those are things that we 100% should do. It's a little bit difficult to get going now, and this is me actively being like, hey, we should do this, but I don't necessarily want to do that right now because we do have a lot on our plate going on, and that's a little bit difficult.
and
But
like, on top of it, we're not like we're blessed to be given 2 hours a week to podcast and get paid to do it. You know, I don't imagine that like there's a whole lot of more hours we can dedicate to the podcast and continue to expect us to get paid, because that's going to take
yeah.
away from other responsibilities. So it definitely does get harder to think like, what are we gonna how can we do that and still maintain this level of efficiency that we have.
Yeah, and so we need to take it at a pace that we can actually get growth going and make the things happen. And
Mal
I'm
says we
I'm
need
kind
a
of
jingle. Hold on, let me see if I can. I think I have this somewhere. Let me see if I can still find it.
we had a jingle at one point.
Yeah, I made one. I don't remember what happened with it.
And I will say honestly, getting together with Eric on a couch and putting together a jingle would be a great video because
Oh
Eric is a
yeah,
musician.
especially because he's musical. Yeah, and I just used like AI to build mine, but
Which I mean, hey, it is what it is,
you
right?
you use the resources you have. If we're being
Exactly.
honest. Oh, I'm trying to find it, but I know I'm not going to find it in time here. So, oh wait. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it.
It's
You hear
quiet.
it? I thought it had words to it. Maybe stop, Cody.
It's just a little beat.
I thought it said something somewhere in it.
It's real quiet, but I can hear it a little bit. I jam. I'm here for that. I mean, I'm 100% here for a jingle though. I think we can actually upload media.
I'm just gonna leave that on in the background.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But with that said, this has been Good Rep Media. We're talking about habits. We're talking about building out plans, making sure that you're actually getting things done. The main takeaway that I think you should be getting here is set your goals. Your goals are real nebulous, and then set your actionable steps to reach your goals. Actionable steps, set dates, set times, set real timelines that you can accomplish. Hey, I want to do X by date. Do those things, accomplish your goals, get there in the end. It's a great time. And if you're new here, remember, like, comment, and subscribe. We are Good Rep Media. My name's Cody. I'm joined by Jordan. We help small businesses rank on Google. If you own a small business, if you're a small business owner, if you want to own a small business someday, you know a small business owner, reach out. We offer free consultations for 30 minutes. Goodrep.media/chat. You chat with me directly. I answer questions about your business. I can give you an action plan on how to improve. I'm going to go ahead and let you know right now, there's plenty of things that you can do. Your Google business profile is not correct. You're missing service pages on your website. And honestly, your Facebook probably needs to get updated as well. Just some quick things for you to take away and go look at while you're on the pod. Join us next week. We're going to be chatting about, I think we're changing up the topic. What did we decide to do?
We're gonna talk about our improv class.
Yes. We're going to be talking about our improv class next week and how improv can kind of help you out with everything, basically. Why we wanted to do it, what we're hoping to gain from it, what the first 2 weeks kind of taught us. And then we're going to be doing a rehash of how this 8-week long class really helped us out at the end. So if that's something that interests you, join us for that journey. And remember, good rep, good media. What is the saying? Good vibes. Good rep,
I
good
like
media, good
that.
vibes.
I don't know if that's I don't know what you're referencing, but
Don't we have something on
good
the
rep, good
homepage?
media, good vibes. I like that.
Good rep, good media, good vibes. Something like that.
We'll
But hey,
figure it out.
guys,
We'll workshop that.
workshop it. See you guys next week.